What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
All right, hello, True Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to True Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Rated Raw Review number 1. I'm home reviewing the November 27, 2023 edition of Monday Night Raw, post Survivor Series, post the return of CM Punk. We are here to discuss it as only we can. I am joined by my esteemed colleague. You saw him last night right here on Rated Raw Superstars watching last night's show. He's got a lot to say about the show in depth, so that's why he is here with me today, the ace in the face of the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo Anthony Cologne.
What is up, good brother? Yeah, let's review this. You viewers, you seem to like the reviews for True Heel Heat, so we're bringing you a Raw review here now, and you guys seem to send a lot more money for the reviews than you do the watch along, so that's always great. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for all the support. You guys like the reviews. Let's review Raw.
It's also because I do my whole spiel at the beginning, and now I give them the Ebonics terminology because of Jimmy Macaron. So if you haven't heard it already, remember, guys, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you are joining us on demand. Remember to show that appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. sound off in the live chat. If you are with us live, whether you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, we love to interact with all of you in the live chat. You were kind of like our other hosts here on the channel. So give us your thoughts on last night's WWE Raw and CM Punk's return promo there. We'll try to highlight as many of the comments as possible, like I said before. But if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can send a super chat donation. That is so important to what we do here. We are a self-funded channel, so anything that you give back goes to the contributors that you usually see on screen here. And when I say non-profit channel, I mean, yes, Jimmy McRam turns, nigga, we broke. So please send a super chat donation. And I don't want to have to call y'all out being an hour in and y'all didn't send a super chat. So I'm calling you out now. Send a super chat. Show us some love the best way you can. We got the King Ellie show in the chat saying, what's up, guys? We also got Frantic World saying, what's up, SP3, Romeo, and chat. So yes, Romeo, you watched the show live here yesterday. It was billed and it felt going in as one of the more anticipated episodes of Monday Night Raw of the year. Do you think it lived up to that?
No. After the first hour, there was a little bit of filler in there that was kind of skippable. The Punk promo, we'll get into that, but it didn't live up to most people's hype. And yeah, we'll get into it. But no, it didn't go as crazy as probably the hype of the episode had.
And you know, like they built this whole thing that the first hour was going to be commercial free. So I expected something to happen in the first hour. Nothing happened. Like we'll go over.
Well, you got one of those turmoil matches that take forever.
They do, and it was some good wrestling. They're out it, but this crowd was not the best one to have this match in front of.
Well, certainly not Chicago. Nashville, they got loud for a few moments, but like during the actual matches, they're a bit quiet until something happens.
Yeah, they're waiting.
But I can't blame them because some of these matches, I'd be quiet too. Some of them.
We already got some thoughts in the chat. We got King Potato who says, "Who the fuck thumbs up Raw? That show was weak as fuck."
Yeah, vote on the poll. Thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down.
I love it. He voted on the show and then saw somebody put thumbs up.
He got mad that thumbs up was getting votes. Thumbs up is leading in votes right now.
Oh my god! Who are you people? What the fuck did y'all watch? RPGs is saying, "What's up, guys?" We got Santel saying, "Yo." We also got Safet here with us saying, "What's up?" Keep sounding off in the live chat. Once again, those super chat donations so important, helps us out so much. But let's get into WWE Raw from November 27, 2023. Romeo, we got a brand new theme song and entrance opening sequence for Monday Night Raw. What did you think about the new song and the new opening theme?
The video's fine. The audio, that sucks. It stunk. I didn't like it at all. I think the old one's better, even though I wasn't in love with the old one. I just really miss Union Underground. I mean, why ever change from that? Just keep that forever, really.
Union Underground.
Even Papa Roach. Even put that. Even that was better.
Oh, never begin. I'm just trying to get fired up.
Yeah, I don't like this.
That song sucked. I'm sorry.
It's better than this, though. Yeah.
I mean, I get used to this. I'm sorry, like the last one. No, give it on. No. I like that one. That one's good.
It's better than this, yeah.
That was a good. That one. As soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, I can get used to this. They're going more modern.
Just go back. Just go back. It's like that one time they changed the theme to Power, and like everybody's just complaining, like, all right, we'll go back. All right, sorry.
And it never was the same. It never was because they took too long to go back to In the Fire. It was like, what the fuck are we doing? King Potato saying, "This shit crazy as fuck, bro. You can't write this."
He's getting mad at his votes.
Antoine saying, "How you gonna give Punk less than 10 minutes for a promo? Was it just me, or did he felt like he was in a hurry? Like you would think with that type, he got a great ovation, a lot of big chants for his name. But you would think that any other time he would have got that, he would have let the crowd like see Punk, see after the music drowns out, he would have let them have the moment. No, he immediately started talking as soon as the music up because he did not have time.
I think he said everything he wanted to say, at least.
Yeah, he got everything in.
Yeah.
He got everything in. He booked it for a 5-minute promo, and that's what we got. We got Queen Monet. He says, I don't think it was the best show, but it did a good job of setting up the upcoming programs. Queen Monet, I am sorry to tell you, but all the programs that they set up are not even going to Royal Rumble. They're literally, we're putting you on a treadmill, and this is what you're going to do until Rumble season. Programs. A lot of the programs set up on this show. I'm like, okay, this is just for the month of December.
Right. But there's some stuff that you could see ahead that what's coming.
Oh yeah. We got Big Bad Dogs. He says, I watched the Raw they put on YouTube for us foreigners. It's just 1.5 hours. I mean, that's pretty good. We also got Chilling with Chase saying, should have given him 20. Raw was poorly laid out. It just didn't feel like the best laid out show by Triple H. It felt like a very Triple H Raw, but it's just not the Raw that this show should have been.
There's a period of the program where it's just like blah, you know. I don't mind the first hour. I don't mind towards the end, everything from Randy Dominik onwards, but the Drew stuff and Seth stuff was fine. Everything else is like, yeah.
I wouldn't even say that was fine. I say, spoiler alert: Drew and Seth was by far better than the Punk promo.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre's got the best character on the show, so he's therefore the best thing on this show.
Intriguing.
Yeah, it's the best thing on the show, honestly. But let's get into the show. Keep sounding off with those thoughts on the show, on the Punk promo, and we'll highlight as many of your comments. Remember to send those super chats as well. But let's talk about the first return that we saw on the show. Romeo, as we saw Randy Orton making his return to Monday Night Raw for the first time since May of 2022, making his triumphant return at Survivor Series this past Saturday, and he's here to kick off the show. He talks about how it's been a while since he's been here, and he says that, you know, the last time he was here, he has some unfinished business, so he has a bag full of receipts for every single member of the bloodline, and he means every single member. He also talks about how when he was called by Cody to be in the War Games match, a match invented by the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, he was quick to take to be a part of it because he loves being a part of history. And he says that the bloodline and anyone else that gets in his way will have to deal with the 3 most dangerous letters in WWE and all of sports entertainment: RKO. This would bring out the WWE Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley.
Ooh,
Ripley comes out
looking like the hottest school shooter there is.
Jesus Christ, we need a disclaimer for you. Look, if she had a ghost face mask, she would look like a screen killer. Rhea Ripley.
They could use one. They could use one nowadays.
And talk about how Orton doesn't get that things have changed around here. She says that the Judgment Day has replaced the bloodline and are on top of the WWE. And Orton is the reason Damian Priest didn't get to cash in the Money in the Bank. And Orton needs to move away from the Judgment Day before he gets himself in trouble. Orton says that he's been hearing all about Rhea Ripley, mommy this, mommy that. But what Rhea needs to understand is that daddy is back. Oh, big cheers from the crowd. Who's your daddy, Chance? Ripley says she gave him a chance. So here, but he now is an enemy of the Judgment Day. This brings out Dominik Mysterio and JD McDonough from the crowd attacking him. JD McDonough rocking a neck brace after the RKO and War Games.
Next strong.
Yes, exactly. But Orton gets the better of them, fighting back. JD makes the save for Dom when he's about to get the rope hung DDT, but he takes an RKO for his troubles. Orton gets on the mic afterwards and tells Dom to not go anywhere. Don't run too fast because he's going to go back to Adam Pearce and he's getting a match with Dom tonight. What did you think about this opening segment? I thought this was solid in, I guess, setting up an Orton and Judgment Day feud on Monday Night Raw. I don't know how they're gonna do it if he's just gonna, kill time on Raw, feuding with them for the next month before we get to Royal Rumble. Because honestly, this promo, what it told me is that, sorry, AJ Styles, Orton done took your Royal Rumble spot against Roman.
Can we talk about how happy Randy Orton looks to be back? He's the ultimate baby face now. He's signing the kids action figure. Even asked him, "What's your name?" It's like, but there's still just something so unsettling and untrustworthy about him. It's just, I know you. I've known you for years. This is very uncomfortable to see you so happy where you're at. I need. It's some people say the same thing about Punk. I need the miserable Randy Orton is what I need. He said he's back for as long as
I can deal with happy Randy Orton, because this feels more akin to who he really is. He doesn't have to get himself into any type of mind state like he does when he's a heel. This feels more of like the Orton that we would see if he was really himself.
The voices in his head are very quiet right now. They're very, very calming. He said he's back for as long as I can stay here. I saw him at Survivor Series. He put up the 10. He said 10 more years. You think he'll be around for 10 more years?
No. Based on his injury history, I'm just not sure. If you mean like, is he going to be around for 10 years from here on out, 10 years straight? No, definitely no. I could see another big injury taking him out for any extended amount of time. Will he still be with WWE and appearing in 10 years? Yeah, I could see that.
He talked up Cody and Dusty, and you know what that's said and all about. He's planting the seeds. I think all of that is after Cody wins the title at Mania.
Yeah.
He calls out the bloodline, and it's just like, it's like the meme. You get interrupted by the Judgment Day. It's like, sorry, here's your 3-month feud with the Judgment Day. Cody is out. Insert Randy. It's just a revolving door for the Judgment Day. I love Rhea mentioning that his return got upstaged. Great needling there, Randy.
Yeah.
Wendy mentioned that on the review. Yes. Rhea spit the truth. Bloodline ain't as hot as it used to be, Randy, when you were around. It's now Judgment Day runs WWE. She established that Orton stopped Priest from cashing in, so that's their grievance against him. And Orton just lying his ass off, saying he watched the product. What? He didn't watch the product. Stop kidding. Dom and JD, to me, is such a funny combo. I think McDonough is perfect for Judgment Day. He's the fall guy taking all these bumps, so Dom doesn't have to take as many as he used to. And I like this. I think Orton and Rhea both shined here. And the Orton stuff with Roman, could you see it for maybe Elimination Chamber? No. That's a big match for a stadium.
No, he's not going to do it. Or I don't think Roman's working Elimination Chamber.
You don't think so?
No.
Perth?
No. No.
Whatever.
I don't see it, because I feel like it would have already been promoted by now. Is he on the promotion for Elimination Chamber? Because I didn't hear that.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But whenever that
the Rumble, he seems like the Rumble, and it seems like they've totally moved on from AJ Styles, or that AJ will have to make do with a feud with Solo, because Solo's the person that took him out.
But whenever that happens, like, it does also set up Orton turning on Cody, because Orton losing to Roman and then seeing Cody beat Roman, that'll get the voices in his head going.
Yeah, it just makes too much sense. As soon as I heard this promo, I'm like, oh, okay, so Orton is the Rumble, and now Cody for WrestleMania, which makes sense because they just reestablished the connection between the two. So it makes sense that he would be the person Roman beats to move on to verse Cody at Mania. So what we're seeing in the chat, a couple of people mentioning it, that Triple H wasn't there last night, and that Bruce Pritchard ran the show according to PW Insider, and so that's why it felt like a very safe show. So that seems like Bruce Pritchard. Yep, I agree. I think it is. We got Queen Monet saying Roman isn't on the Chamber promotion. Yeah, so he's not going to work.
Right, so never mind.
He's not working Chamber. He's not, guys. Sorry. Big Man Dog saying, TikTok loved this promo. Indeed. They love anything Rhea Ripley, TikTok, to be fair. We got Chilling with Chase saying Tribal Chief not being promoted at all. I mean, hey, I will say, now, before we get into anything about Triple H booking, and, I mentioned something about the formatting, I want to give Triple H a bunch of credit because one of the last times I was on camera with Romeo was the SummerSlam review, where this guy sat up here and poorly tried to defend the decision to turn Jimmy Uso heel, which in hindsight, 3 months later, it pretty much ended the whole Bloodline storyline, or ended the hot streak of the Bloodline storyline. The reason why I'm giving Triple H credit, it hasn't fucking mattered. It hasn't fucking mattered. So that is the biggest credit to Triple H as a booker in 2023 is his best storyline he cut short, and it did not matter because he had Jade Cargill sign, he had The Rock return, CM Punk return, Orton return, Nia Jax sign, Cena returned. Like, he had everything to distract you from the fact that the thing we all loved isn't what we loved anymore. And I think that is the big thing that right now, November 27th, before I even take the votes, Triple H is Booker of the Year. Because
I saw Dave Meltzer tweet that too.
Because no, it's just a fact of the matter. Because Romeo, what you should have said, your big defense for the Jimmy Uso heel turn should have just been, it won't matter. Yeah, it probably killed Jimmy, but Jey and Roman will be fine. Because that's what happened. Jey and Roman were fine. It just killed Jimmy Uso and killed the storyline overall. But that was my whole point from the beginning, because he did not need to do that. So you really defended nothing, because all you needed to say is, it's going to be fine. Let it play out. You should have used the WWE fan playbook of let it play out. It's going to be fine. It won't matter for everything else. Bloodline's dead. Everything else will be fine.
I always had confidence in everything from January to Mania. Bloodline stuff is like already written in stone. The innings, what's going to happen in those. The Bloodline just completely crumbles to its core, and Roman has nobody left at Mania versus Cody, and Cody's probably going to have Arn Anderson, Brandy Rhodes, maybe even a QT Marshall. Who knows? But
QT Marshall.
You don't know. He might have his own family and Nightmare Family. But the Jimmy Uso stuff, like,
thank you, Chase. That's all you needed to say.
Just watch.
You should have just said. Just watch. You shouldn't have went on your whole big defense, because it didn't matter in the long run. I'll give him that. It didn't matter, but he definitely did ruin the best thing, because everybody has said it in the past 3 months except for Romeo, in fully relenting and putting the white flag that he was wrong.
The Jimmy Uso character took a wild direction. Yes. That being said,
took the wrong direction.
What did I say? Wild?
You said wild. It's the wrong.
It's both. That being said, I do enjoy this Jimmy Uso character.
I'm sorry to keep it interrupting, but wild can be interpreted as a positive thing. So that's why I said wrong.
All right. However you want to phrase it. But that being said, I do enjoy this Jimmy Uso character. I do. He's calling the plays, calling the audible.
No, I even like someone like Jimmy Macaram, not Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Macaram, who admits that the Jimmy Uso turn just didn't make any sense and it was the wrong move. He enjoys Jimmy's character, but he understands that he's a joke. He's fucking Lenny and Squidgy. Yeah. He's the fucking putties from Power Rangers. That's all he is. That's all he is. You could have made 4 different stars with him turning at the right time, but they did it too early. And I don't think he's ever going to recover. But
I think
you can still have. No, Jay's going to win in the end. And even if Jimmy, he's not, guys. Like, I'm letting you know. Like, this is me once again trying to warn you, Romeo. Romeo. He's not. This is the whole Jimmy and Jay feud is going to be a vehicle to push Jay more ahead, and Jimmy is just going to be who he is. He's not going to get hot again. It's over.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he will do his role. It'll look fine.
Yeah, he's going to do his role. The job to Jay. That's a role, but you could have actually made him a star too, since he was the first one who turned on the bloodline. Like, we all thought after Night of Champions, we was like, this is the best move for Jimmy. Jimmy's finally gonna do something, and they fucked it up. They did.
Well, we were always going to get Jimmy versus Jay at Mania.
Yeah, that's fine. But he didn't need to turn at SummerSlam.
All right.
He just didn't. This is me 3 months later saying it. It's not the day after like before. This is me 3 months saying I've been proven right.
All right. Everything's gonna be all right though.
See, that's the right response. Big Man Dog says Jimmy is the Matt Hardy. Exactly. Like that's what I thought of. Big Man Dog's read my mind. I was like, even if Jimmy beats Jay, it's like Matt Hardy beating Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania 25. It's like, did that really help, man? No. The star was still Jeff. The star is still gonna be Jay. We got also Big Red Dog saying, yeah, I remember thinking Jimmy was the one who was gonna get over. It literally felt like that. It felt on May 28th, 2023, it felt like that was the best thing that's ever happened to Jimmy Uso. Him being the one to first break away from the bloodline, it felt like, oh, you have the chance to tell his story now. Nah, they immediately made it about Jay.
Yeah, I never got that feeling with Jimmy. It's all about Jay.
Yeah, I had that feeling with Jimmy after Night of Champions, at the very least. But moving on to the next segment, we go backstage, and some teams in the tag team turmoil are ready when Maxine Dupree and Ivy Now brings in country singer Jelly Roll. So we get our troops to come in, and he makes jokes about how he wants some jelly rolls, and he's not sure who this guy is. And he said he's going to catering to get some jelly rolls, and he tells Tozawa to do the jelly roll. Comedy!
What's your favorite jelly roll song?
In the Club.
Is that an actual song?
It's an actual song, but it's not by Jelly Roll.
Oh, that's a 50 Cent. Not a fan.
My mistake. Same difference. I thought.
I don't know who he is.
Or it's Jelly Roll.
I don't know who Jelly Roll is. He's a country rapper.
I mean, that would make sense. His look kind of feels like Action Bronson.
Yeah, that's what we're saying on the watch along.
Tag Team Turmoil was next up for a future tag team title shot. First up was the Alpha Academy, very notably represented by Otis and Akira Tozawa. Immediately, I asked on social media, and I'll ask you, is this a sign that Chad Gable's going on a singles run?
Yes. I told you he's one of my guys, volunteers for Gunther at Mania to end the run.
Would not mind that. Alpha Academy kicked things off against DIY. Had a pretty good matchup here, but of course, Alpha Academy having less experience. They fell victim to the meet in the middle to Tozawa to DIY for them to move on 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Then next in was Share. Even though they looked pretty dominant for 2 minutes, they were quickly dispatched when Gargano rolled up Veer to eliminate them. Next in were the Creed brothers, who had a rematch with DIY that was just as fun as their first meeting. These two teams have some really good chemistry together, but it was the Creed brothers who got the win with the Brutus Ball, the Avalanche Brutus Brawl, the Doomsday Brutus Brawl, however you want to call it. Next in was the New Day, the most decorated tag team on the Monday Night Raw brand, and what we got was the best match of this tag team turmoil. New Day and Creed brothers were cooking. Julius Creed was an absolute star during this entire tag team turmoil, but especially he was very much highlighted against the likes of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, just knowing where to be, and they know how to pace their matches a lot well, and it helps someone who's just athletically gifted as Julius Creed to have someone that's a veteran that knows how to pace out the matchup. And I felt like this was the Creed's best showing as far as an individual match on Monday Night Raw so far. They got the win in the against the New Day. I think it went about 8-9 minutes. And then finally, we had Imperium come in, and it looked like Imperium on a few occasions had the win. They hit the Euro bomb, the Imperial bomb for a near fall. At one point, they were going for another Imperial bomb, and Julius freaking hops up off of Giovanni's back onto the rope. He slips, then jumps flat-footed to the top rope, delivers a superplex to Luvic, while Brutus delivers the Feed Me More, the Ryback finisher, to Giovanni, and then they finish things off with the Brutus ball to Giovanni Vinci for the Creed brothers to pick up the win in total tag team turmoil when 25 minutes, 48 seconds, an excellent showing for the Creed brothers, number one contenders for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. And I would say they're the next up. They're the next tag team champions. I think this was like a big showcase for them to be the babyface anchors of the tag team division on the main roster.
Great showcase for the Creeds. Impressive showing. You guys know, if you watch this channel, the Creed brothers are my guys. Julius Creed especially is my guy. I've always said he's a future WrestleMania main eventer. He's going to be just as big as they hope Braun Breaker is going to be as big. He's one of the most athletic guys on the roster, right next to Ricochet. He could do it all, and he could talk a little bit. He doesn't get that many opportunities, but the little I've heard, I think he'll be able to pick up on that part of the business. This was good. They got multiple finishes in with the Brutus ball. These are my guys. I'm happy for them. I just wonder, I'm just going to ask this question. I know the answer to it, but is it too much too soon already getting a title shot? Or are you fine with the skyrocketing they're doing with the Creed bros?
All I'm going to say is don't be like Sean and pull the fucking trigger. Because they did the same thing with them in NXT, and then they kept fucking punk faking for the three-point shot. And they would lose. They lost again. They lost that stand and deliver in the three-way matchup when they should have won. And then they turn around at the next premium live event in your house and win it then. And it was just like, kind of feels off. And then the very next live event, they lose the tag team title. So it very much felt like kept pump faking with the Creeds. They wouldn't go all the way. They have done a great job with them on the main roster. All I'm saying is you finish the job. They are the ones to dethrone Judgment Day.
I could see a pump fake though. I can absolutely see it.
I can definitely see
Mania.
it too.
Yeah, maybe you save that moment for Mania instead of just them winning the first try. Who knows?
I would prefer them to win it and then do Creeds and DIY at WrestleMania, because DIY
probably some four-way smiles.
Yeah, it'll be DIY, New Day, and some heel tag team in there.
You could probably include SmackDown teams.
Yeah, Pretty Deadly.
Or what do you call it? Street Profits.
I can see that. Yeah, Street Profits is another one. Speaking of the Creeds, Finn Balor came into our next segment, into the Judgment Day's treehouse, and let them know that he was watching the Creed brothers and they're nothing to mess with, and they should really take them seriously. But Damian Priest doesn't want to hear it right now, and he knows what they're thinking. He says that he made himself the leader, the captain for the War Games, and he cost them all the matchup. He was like, I know you guys want to get on me, so go ahead, just do it. Just do it. And Balor tells him to relax, tranquilo. We got Rhea, who tells him he needs to calm down. Dom says we're a team, and Rhea says we win as a team and we lose as a team. And Balor says they're right, and they just need to listen. And they say JD is hurt from the RKO, and they need to go check on him. And when they walk away, Rhea has a very suspicious smile on her face.
Okay, then I missed the smile then, because I was going to say, like, this is like the most baby-faced Judgment Day I've ever seen. So positive and reaffirming, reassuring. Balor looked hilarious in that oversized sweater. I don't know what the hell was that. But I like that he put over the Creed brothers. It was very nice. Didn't have to do that. I think it's good character building for Priest. You know, he felt like the leader at Survivor Series. He lost the war. He took the pin. He let them down. He's thinking about it. It's bothering him. But I missed a smirk, so that's interesting.
Yes, I'm very interested to see how it develops. Judgment Day backstage segments are some of my favorite on Monday Night Raw each week, because just Damian and Rhea, it's just so crazy the 18 months that they have, that they just, Rhea Ripley feels like a top 3, now top 4. Sorry, CM Punk's here. Top 4 star in the whole entire company, and Damian Priest just feels like he's on the cusp of becoming a main eventer in the company. So it's great seeing that whenever they interact in that treehouse. It's always a good segment on the show, and I thought this was good too.
I remember where they started, just standing in the middle of the ring with Edge between them. Oh my god, we've come a
Rhea
long
was
way.
coming off the run with Nikki ASH in the tag team division, and Damian Priest was coming off of losing the U.S. title to Finn Balor.
Oh, the irony. The irony.
The irony of it all.
I love the Judgment Day. It's probably one of my favorite things in WWE.
Yeah, I feel like they have, like what Rhea said in the opening segment, they have really filled in the void of the Bloodline as the top faction in WWE and the most interesting faction every single week episodically, like the Bloodline used to be last year.
It's why I was so upset when they were teasing breaking them up in the middle of the summer. It's like, no, I love this. Don't break them up.
Well, you know, Triple H can't book a group without them teasing dissension. Like, I mention this shit every time I'm on this channel. Like, Triple H don't know how to book factions who get along. It just doesn't seem like he does, or he doesn't care to. Queen Monet saying Rhea had the smirk at the end, like if she was planning something. I wonder what she's planning now. I think that maybe Rhea knew they were going to lose at War Games and put Damian in that position knowing that he was going to lose.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what they're getting at here. I don't know.
I can see that. We got here also Josh saying led his team to a loss like Harden with the Clips.
How do you lose to the Nuggets at home without Jokic
and Jamal Murray
and Gordon all out?
Pathetic.
When we figure this out, it's going to be
couldn't
scary.
even hit my fucking parlays. I had him for 6 assists. 6 fucking assists. James Harden. No, I think it was 5. I had him for 6 rebounds. Couldn't even do that for me. Fucking James Harden. Terrible.
That's our sports talk for Raider Roll.
I'm only putting parlays on the Warriors now. Anyway, next up, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, comes out to the ring for a chat. First up, he said he wants to thank every single member of his War Games team, naming each member: Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, who helped them win in his dad's match. And he got emotional. He was like, he gave me the pin in the match my dad created. That's all he says.
How dapper this guy is. This guy's style is amazing, man. Ooh, this guy's...
He does dress like a British detective in the 1960s.
He does.
The other story he said he wants to talk about here is the return of CM Punk. He said, which took everyone by surprise. People want to hear what he has to say, and all Cody has to say for right now is welcome back. He says, with all these stories taking place, Cody says he wants to make his own story, and he said he's going to do that by declaring himself the first entrant in the 2024 Royal Rumble match. The lights dim around Cody, and a video starts to play with Shinsuke Nakamura, who says he has been patient with Rhodes for too long, but he needs him to evolve. So he appears from behind Cody Rhodes and he spits red mist into his eyes. Shinsuke Nakamura bows and has laid waste to Cody Rhodes, sending a message to him. And it has been revealed that Shinsuke Nakamura has been talking about Cody Rhodes this entire time. I mean, this was a good reveal. I pretty much figured it was Cody. I was like, if it's not Punk, then it's probably Cody. And it made sense that it is Cody. But just the red mist, I don't know. I felt like he should have gave him a Kinshasa. It felt like the first half of the attack and not the full attack. And I've seen Babyface writhe in pain to miss earlier this year with Bianca.
Wait, say that again? You've seen what?
Remember when Asuka turned heel on Bianca,
yes,
and all she did was spit mist in her eyes? I've seen
yes.
a babyface writhe in pain to miss already. So that's why I was saying I needed the Kinshasa afterwards to kind of make this feel impactful. It didn't like deliver the big boom at the end, the big exclamation point at the end. The miss, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. The miss. He's done that before, but I was looking for more.
I think that's still coming. I think he still got that. The Miz was cool to me. Closest Cody will get to color in WWE. You know, having his face look red, make it look like there's blood. There's a little Miz sprayed in his face. This is a nice distraction for Cody to escape the Judgment Day feuds. Finally, we could stop that. Survivor Series War Games was supposed to be the end of that. And I'm surprised to see it was Shinsuke talking about Cody this whole time. Very surprised. I thought it was Punk. I thought it was Punk. Well, it's definitely not Okada. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, you got big man dogs who said chaos.
It's
so
chaos.
It's clearly Okada.
He said, I'm gonna bring the chaos to you.
He's coming. He's coming, y'all. He's coming. We're about to hit a coin fucking drop, y'all.
Coin drop in the Rumble. Oh shit.
So I had to double check this because I read the comment by King Potato. Thank you so much. But he is actually correct. Fightful Select has just reported that Bryan Danielson headed up the disciplinary committee that terminated CM Punk. Wow. I mean, that headline. I don't need to read. I'm gonna have to read this report and like learn more about it. But that's like a wow headline and then you can understand some of the people. Like, if you have Bryan Danielson say that you shouldn't work with the company anymore, then I can understand why there might be some people in WWE that's like, I don't really want him in this company. What do you think, Romeo?
What was this, yesterday? Danielson made a tweet yesterday. He said, my dad always told me the right thing is often the hardest thing to do. It won't always make the most money. It won't always be the most popular, but it's still the right thing.
And Fightful is told that that's what Danielson said when speaking to talent at the meeting months before. So they're talking about the meeting that was before the collision on the day that they fired Punk. That was the day that he returned to the company before All Out.
Wow, so Bryan Danielson sent CM Punk home. He's part of the reason CM Punk is home now. Wow.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Fight forever.
Yo, that's insane. It's like for Punk fans, it's like, now you're gonna hate on Bryan Danielson? I can't wait to see the cope of Punk fans that for years have always said, oh, if I don't like if Punk's out here, I'm gonna cheer for Bryan. You know, I still like Bryan. Or when he was in AEW and he was falling out with some people. Well, Bryan Danielson is still friends with him. Bryan Danielson still likes him. Then you see this. I can't wait to see this.
I'm
excited for this cope.
They have such symmetry because when Punk walked out of the WWE, that was the rise of Daniel Bryan to the main event of being a world champion. So they're forever linked.
That's insane. We got big man dog saying low key like Bryan even more now because he got Punk back in WWE.
Triple H sent him a text. Thank you.
For sure, a Vince sleeper agent. No, niggas.
I don't think Vince cares about this.
Y'all got it twisted. This nigga is a Tony Khan sleeper agent. This is Bryan Danielson sending a lethal dose of poison to WWE.
Look at it both ways.
Oh man, that is awesome. He helping WWE.
This thumbnail for True Heat is coming together very quickly.
You're Chase. You're saying this 3 days after he returned. We don't know if this is helping WWE yet.
What do you mean? It's the biggest social media. What were they? How were they phrasing it? They love
the biggest social moment of all. I hated that
social moment.
That shit is just so fucking.
They're so proud. They love it.
I hate them. I hate them for it, but I love it at the same time.
It's funny.
Next up, we had Monday Night Meat as Bronson Reed went one-on-one with Ivar. Two big meaty men slapping meat in the middle of the ring. This one going 8 minutes, 35 seconds. Some really good moments sprinkled in this one. I wanted more of it, but it's good that we got the result that we did, as both men fought to the outside, where Bronson Reed lifts up Ivar, delivering a big Samoan drop into the barricade. At the same time, the referee counts the count of 10 to count both men out. So we have a double count out. The fight continues on as both men are fighting into the crowd. They fight with security. They're beating up security and officials. Finally, the big brawl ends with Ivar doing a big senton off of a bunch of production cases onto Bronson Reed and a couple of officials. What did you think about this matchup here and this brewing feud between the big men of Ivar and Bronson Reed?
I enjoyed this. It was a nice hoss fight. I think Ivar has been a joy to watch in these singles matches. He's really found something here without his partner. It's an Eric, right? Is that his name? Yeah. I thought nice bumps by the security guards after. I think one of them took a damn concussion, hitting his head in the damn cement floor. Keep building up these guys, because you need some of the big guys in the Rumble to like make people tossing them over seem more impressive, you know. And Triple H has done this kind of finish with Bronson and Lashley before, and it was
Bronson
good
and
then.
Nakamura.
Yeah, so no surprise here. Should be interesting the next time they tango.
Makes sense. We got Big Man Dog saying, okay, this is the first time my version skipped. This is how I used to watch the Hulu version. Whatever they're skipping, that's basically WWE telling you it didn't really matter. So this match didn't really matter. Big Man Dog, that's what your version is telling you. Next up, we go backstage to Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark giving a pep talk. Shayna giving Zoe Stark a pep talk about her loss at Survivor Series, but in comes Nia Jax talking a whole bunch of garbage, a whole bunch of shit, and says that she's getting the women's championship. Baszler doesn't want to hear it, but Stark steps up and says she will verse Nia tonight. And we move on to that matchup. Nia Jax going one-on-one with Zoe Stark. This was your regular underdog babyface versus monster heel matchup. But it was just very, very slow. Very, very slow. It's Nia Jax. She's still Nia Jax, y'all. Just in case you were wondering. Zoe Stark got to look good with her comeback, but Nia's overall strength and power and size overwhelmed her. A big senton followed by a big big Samoan drop, and then she followed up with the Annihilator to pick up the victory. What did you think about Nia Jax versus Zoe Stark here?
You can hear pin drops during these Zoe Stark matches. I mean, you put her in there as a babyface, she's just not over as a babyface by the slightest. It's not working. It's not good. Sorry. I know she's a good worker, but there's no heat. The crowd just does not care.
Because they haven't given a reason for them to care. It's the same thing with Raquel Rodriguez. Even though that's more of an indictment because she's been here for 18 months. But they don't develop these. It's great that you're putting these women on camera, and it's great that you can bolster all these numbers of, oh, we had 14 women on this week. Oh, we had 20 women on this week. If only 2 are fucking over, I don't fucking care what the number is at the end of the day. If you're only doing work to get over Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch, then I don't fucking care for you to put on Tegan Knox and Piper Niven and all these people. You need to do the work to get them over. That means developing a personality and a story for them. I feel like with Zoe, they're trying in a way to do that with the backstage segments with Shayna Baszler, but it's just like anytime I see the backstage segment with Shayna Baszler, I'm just like, well, Shayna's the star here, so you should put Shayna.
Yes, I'll be more interested in that. I think a lot of people will be. Shayna.
Yeah, it's very true. We got Chase who says, Zoe Stark, first one in the building, last one to leave. She has this grit and no one cares.
I don't know what they're going to do with her.
King Potato saying, to be fair, though, that Nashville crowd was ass, but I don't blame them completely.
I can't blame them for this. I would have sat there just watching. That's it.
Yeah.
Was the crowd reaction any better for Rhea versus Zoe on Saturday in Chicago?
No,
So,
that was the quietest they were in Chicago
there you go.
on the show. Yeah.
And
It
that's a
just
ruckus
is what-
crowd.
It just is what it is. Like you have a certain amount of women that are over. Becky Lynch is over. Rhea Ripley's over. Bianca Belair is over. Charlotte Flair is over. Damage Control as a whole is over. Asuka on her own is over. I think even Bayley on her own is over. But like, I noticed I didn't say a lot of Raw women on that list because honestly, outside of the Becky and Rhea, Nia Jax is the most over. The next most over.
Yep. Yeah.
Because at least they care. At least they care to not like her. They don't care to even like or dislike Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, Tegan Knox, Natalya. Even someone who's doing great character work like Chelsea Green does not get a reaction.
Nope. You're correct.
It's frustrating. R-Truth is found in the Judgment Day's clubhouse eating some jelly rolls. He gets powder and sugar all over the place. He wants in to be their final member of their War Games team, but is told that War Games already happened. Truth then says, "Did you win? How did I do?" He says the one thing he does remember is that Randy Orton is back. Maybe you should throw him out there. JD McDonough, when R-Truth leaves, offers to take care of Truth for the Judgment Day. Any thoughts?
You still got it, R-Truth. You still got it. Even after all this time off. What you bring to the program, you still got it.
Undeniable. Undeniable from everybody else. Undeniable.
One of the biggest returns of this weekend.
Give you that.
Already hard at work.
We got Big Man Dogs who says, does WWE need a women's mid-card title? All these mid-card women feel kind of lost. And they didn't feel kind of lost when Becky held the NXT Women's Championship. So that is the whole Becky Lynch NXT Women's Champion is the argument for WWE needing a women's mid-card title.
I guess. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
I feel you on that. We got a super chat donation from the good brother Christopher Kidd. Christopher Kidd, you're always coming in clutch. Even what Romeo said earlier, I saw Christopher Kidd was donating last night during Rated Raw Superstars as well. We appreciate you, good sir. Be like Christopher Kidd. Be a Christopher Kidd and donate. We need the support. But thank you, Christopher. He says, I'm late to the party, but that crowd was right.
Like, would anyone have been more excited if Nia Jax is holding a mid-card title and that's the same match against Zoe Stark?
No, it depends on who has the mid-card title. It does. It does matter. If you bring it in the mid-card title to put it on Jade Cargill, I don't think that's the best move. Because as we've seen with the main event segment, when you try to redo something from AEW, it doesn't go too well in WWE. Or it doesn't get the best reaction from people in WWE. We get a recap of Gunther retaining the Intercontinental Championship over The Miz at Survivor Series. Then Gunther is with Imperium backstage and wants them to deal with DIY. He says the two of them off to deal with that. When The Miz pops in to say he heard Gunther say his next opponent needed to challenge him to his face, well, here is that challenger, which has Gunther laughing. Gunther praises Miz for bringing it on Saturday and he says he proved that he belongs in the ring, just not with Gunther. Any thoughts on them giving us a Miz fucking Gunther rematch? Why?
That was a great line at the end by Gunther. I like his delivery on that. Miz doesn't deserve another title shot, but if it's for a Raw, I'm fine with it. It's whatever.
It's annoying. It's like
maybe Gunther wins different this time with a different move, and maybe it unleashes more punishment on Miz, makes it more decisive. Miz doesn't get no babyface fire.
I mean, he tapped out. Like, how does it get more decisive than getting tapped out?
Because Miz had some near falls, is what I mean. None of that shit.
I guess. I don't know.
Just destroy him, you know?
It felt like a retread here. I was like, not a good retread. I was like, we're just keeping Gunther busy for the next month. Next up, we had the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, who comes out and he says that he is a visionary. He wants to, he hears the CM Punk chants and he said he wants to hear them. He says he won't waste another breath on that hypocrite. Rollins isn't impressed. He says he instead says that we should all be talking about the title that he has built up for the last 6 months, the most important title in WWE, the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know what was more disingenuous, Punk's promo or that one line by Seth Rollins. Rollins isn't feeling too good 2 days after from War Games, but he is starting to get the itch to be a fighting champion again. This brings out his opponent from Crown Jewel, Drew McIntyre, who says that he wants to shake Rollins' hand after the match at War Games. McIntyre brought into the Judgment Day's plan, and now he has to put everything else behind him. He says all that matters to him is the World Heavyweight Championship. He says, but Rollins, before he beat him, he says, do you remember what you told me? Rollins says that he says, him beating him, I told you it would be the best thing that ever happened to McIntyre. And McIntyre says that, yes, it was. He says that during the matchup at Crown Jewel, he showed sympathy to Seth. He said he gave him a big side slam on the apron, and he saw him writhing in pain, and he thought about his daughter and his career, and he wanted to tell him that it was all over. So when he got in his face, he said slapped him across the face, and the match was never the same for him. And he said he deserved that slap that Rollins gave him. And Rollins thinks that McIntyre should get a rematch, but he says there are also some people who deserve one more. He says so he'll get it out. He get it out the way. He says next week he will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against none other than Jey Uso. That isn't cool with McIntyre, who drops Seth with a headbutt, possibly hitting the title because he cuts himself open in the process. He starts beating down Seth, yelling at him, saying that it is personal. He says, I beat Jey 2 weeks ago. I'm ahead of him in line. He is absolutely right. Like, I love that we got the light side of Drew here where he tried to be the babyface, and then instantly it's always Jey Uso that triggers him to go to the dark side. It's so great. It's such a great character beat that he's been showing over the last couple of weeks. He starts beating down on Seth big time when out comes Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes in, making the save for Seth. He gets Seth up and delivers a double super kick. And then we have a moment where Seth and Jey stare at the World Heavyweight Championship ahead of their big showdown next week. Post break, we see Drew walking backstage, and this is a picture from Drew and Seth from like a month ago, but this is not the one from last night. But post break, Sami Zayn comes up to Drew and tells him,
You get the picture.
What's going on? Zayn says that he has his own issues, but he keeps getting up. He says everything that Drew is whining about has happened to him times 10. He says Zayn knows that the end of his road is winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and Drew is better than that. He said Drew is already a 2-time champion and a monster, and Drew doesn't like the implication from Sami, and he says Sami's right. He needs to regroup. He needs to start from the bottom, start building up wins. So he's going to go to Adam Pearce and ask for a match next week against you. Drew McIntyre, the best character on Raw right now. He is the most interesting man. I've been saying it for months now, and this was the best segment on the show, in my opinion.
I'm glad there was a CM Punk chant for Seth Rollins because you can't cheer for both of them. You have to pick a side. And if it's going to be this 50-50 or close to it, this is going to be fun. Whenever that gets going, that's going to be fun. And Seth already calling him a hypocrite. So you know what's coming from his side of the venom, his side of the promos. You already know what's coming. McIntyre, I agree with everything you're saying about him. He did a great job playing both sides of the fence here. Putting down the Judgment Day, congratulating Seth, and then snapping when he hears anything bloodline related, especially Jey Uso, who he gets on his nerves. The cut on Drew's head, it added to it for some reason. I like the little blood. Jey making the save, the double super kick, picking up the world title. That was a nice touch. That's gonna make for a hell of a match next week. The Sammy stuff is great because it makes sense. He did go through the same things, and Sammy handled it a lot better than you being a bitch about it. So that stuff is intriguing too. Yeah, Drew McIntyre, man. He didn't want to come back because he wanted some, good creative first. He's getting it. He's getting it right now.
I really like Sami Zayn's role on Monday Night Raw since Kevin Owens made the move to SmackDown, where Kevin Owens is like the voice of logic and reason, of basically logic in WWE and canon. He knows what's going on.
Love it.
He knows the tropes. Whereas Sami Zayn is the voice of reason, and he tells people the truth, whether it's the truth about him or the truth about themselves. And I like that. And honestly, when he wasn't shown for most of the show and wasn't shown until what was this, like a 2-minute segment, I honestly thought he was going to be the one to interrupt Punk and be the one to tell Punk that he's a hypocrite.
That's gonna be Seth. Sorry.
No, but it should have been Sammy, because I think Sammy would, like, Seth will do it in a way that it will make him the heel to Punk fans. But I feel like Sammy is the one that it will sound like the truth.
You might get that. And you might get that in very similar to a backstage segment like this one, where Sammy only does it backstage. He pulls people aside like, hey, you fucked up, right?
You fucked up, right? Let me tell you. Let me tell you how you fucked up. Next up,
everyone just kicks his ass in the match right after.
Pretty much. Next up, we had the Women's Tag Team Championships up for grabs. And sheesh, you guys were talking about no one reacting to Zoe Stark. Fuck, man. They gave this match a lot of time. If it was 8 minutes and 40 seconds, it felt like 15. And reason why it felt like 15, these crowd did not give a fuck. They did not react one fucking bit. Zoe Stark did a dive that they responded to, and they responded to, Nia Jax's size on the Samoan drop. They did not respond to anything in this match. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green pick up the victory. Piper pinning Tegan Nox. Any thought?
Skippable. There's nothing serious about Natty and Tegan as threats to the tag titles.
Yeah,
I'm sure I don't know who was in the chat who had watched the lesser version. I'm sure this wasn't on it, even though it's a championship match. Imagine you put none of the women on it. It's crazy.
Next up, we get a rundown of what's coming up next week, and then we see Randy Orton backstage getting ready for tonight's main event against Dominik Mysterio. When Jey Uso comes up and he says, he heard what he said earlier, and he just said he apologizes for what went down back in the day between them. And he said, Randy says that he's been watching and he's seen how Jey has had Cody's back. He's seen that he has made changes. So he says that they are cool as long as he stays out of the bloodline. What did you think about this? I thought that this could have been more. If you wanted to wait till Jey got the World Heavyweight Championship out the way, you could have had this boiling for a little bit and had an in-ring promo where they did this than just a throwaway 1 minute, 2 minute backstage segment.
Yeah, I could see that. Orton seems so sincere, but also seems like he's not. It's just it's intriguing waiting for the shoe to drop. It's gonna drop. I think he'll trust him for now, but I watched Jey Uso accidentally super kick Randy Orton sometime, and that'll get the voices going. The voices, they'll talk to him.
This is true. Next up, we go backstage to Becky Lynch. She talks about going to war at Survivor Series and that it's time for her to move forward and that there's more fights to have, some more pressing than others. Why? Why did I need to see this? I'd rather you not put Becky Lynch on this week than fucking 47 seconds of nothing.
So we could see all her gnarly scars that she got from War Games. I could have seen that on Instagram.
There's just so many segments on this show. I understand what you're talking about the filler. Going over the show, I'm just this didn't matter. This got no reaction. This didn't fucking matter. There's a lot of this on this show. And usually, with Raw over the last couple of weeks, it hasn't had this much filler.
You know better than me.
It's weird. It's weird. Next we had a Randy Orton going one-on-one with Dominik Mysterio in the main event. JD McDonough in Dominik Mysterio's corner. This was a pretty decently worked matchup here. Of course, Dom got a little bit of the heat. Orton would eventually make his comeback. He would get distracted by JD McDonough dealing with him on the outside. Jelly Roll would get involved, pushing down McDonough and Dominik. After that, Orton delivered a couple of back suplexes onto the announce table onto Dom. Then back into the ring after distraction from JD. Mysterio hit the 619. He takes far too long on the frog splash and misses, giving Orton enough time to get up, recover, and hit the RKO to pick up the victory here. 9 minutes, 27 seconds. Mysterio wasn't much of a threat to Orton in this one. The best I could say is it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It's what it needed to be. Even getting Jelly Roll involved. I'm sure all the Jelly Roll fans really love that. I love when Orton I love when Orton dumps people on the announce table with just no fucks, just throws them, tosses them. Always looks good, even if the table doesn't break. Dom loses nothing here. He could always get his heat back, and Orton looked good. Orton looks good.
Indeed. I'm glad Orton's back, and he's absolutely jacked. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How jacked he is.
Chuck test him.
Please, he's on PED. So. He's on PED.
He's off the cycle. He cycled off. He's good.
Oh, he cycled off? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not spreading rumors, but he's on PEDs. But Queen Monet saying, I love Lyra, but Becky should have kept the title till at least Deadline. I mean, you won't hear a complaint or a debate from me. I agree.
I also agree.
Yeah, like you could have done Lyra winning it at Deadline. It would have been fine. If the Lyra was the next up, then that's fine. I'm not saying it was the wrong choice to put it on Lyra. It was the wrong choice to do it then for Becky. Becky was hot as NXT Women's Champion. Power Driver finisher saying so many segments to still be able to fill up Raw with long, boring ass matches. Yeah, it I will say though, like outside of the tag team turmoil, I could have missed all the other matches on this show. Like Ivar and Bronson Reed is the next best matchup, and that would ended in a double countout.
Yeah, but you're going to see that again with a finish.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I don't need to watch that at all.
You can watch the second one.
Yeah, I'll just watch the second one. I'll be fine. All right, it's about that time, folks. What you all been waiting for. CM Punk makes his return to WWE Raw. And of course, we saw the Cry Me a River sign in the crowd. Great touch. And
Romeo, Cry Me a River.
Romeo has decided he is going to take the reins on going through the Punk return promo. So, Romeo, take us away.
Yes, because there's these lines in this promo. I almost want to analyze them as we go over them. But his music stopped. The crowd got even louder after the music stopped. And he starts it off by saying, looks like hell froze over. A nod to Triple H's tweet with the finger points. This is me standing in the middle of a WWE ring with a live microphone in my hand, which is crazy to think about still. Like, wasn't yesterday the anniversary of the Colt Cabana podcast when that came out? And how many years later, he's in the ring with the live microphone. Crazy. So then he goes into his little icebreaker. I'm a Blackhawks fan in the Nashville Predators barn. Hockey reference. Always the CM Punk icebreaker. Always. Said Saturday was a career highlight for him. And he has 2 words that he's afraid to say. And it's not because they're not true. It's because he's how scared of how true they are. These words are an admission against everything he was against. He says it's not going to sound like CM Punk. And it absolutely did not sound like CM Punk. Nobody wants to hear him say this. First he says, but I've changed, which is hilarious. I thought those were the 2 words he's referring to when he said he has 2 words. I've changed. I started laughing my ass off. It's like, what? You still need to prove that, buddy. But he says, once upon a time, an American dream, Cody reference, taught me that as long as you speak from the heart, you cannot go wrong because it is the truth, and this is the truth. I'm home. Those were the 2 words. Big pop.
Both were funny. Both were funny.
Yeah. And let me just say, he is home. This was always his home. A home he abandoned and left, and a home that he felt did him wrong. He found a new home and fell out with that one. And sometimes that happens in real life. You go find a new home, it's not your home. You come back home. He gets the welcome back and CM Punk chants. The crowd didn't know which one to chant, so it sounded weird. It sounded like welcome Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "This is where I belong." This is home.
I'm home because I love you guys. I love you guys. Yo, I literally, let me just say, I break up just to break y'all up. I was with Jimmy. We did a recording for his channel, and we talked about that one line because y'all were all talking about the I've changed, I'm home. No, it's the follow up to the I'm home. I'm home because I love you guys. I love you guys. It literally sounded, because he said I love you guys like twice back to back. It literally sounded like how he would sound if he was practicing the promo. Like he said, I love you guys. I love you guys. Like, okay, that one worked. The second one, not the first, not the first one. The second one, it sounded like he did not believe the words either, and he had to say it twice just to make his point. Oh my god, this is an all-time hilarious promo. But keep going.
Yes. He says, "This is where I belong. This is home. I've been gone for over 10 years, and over 10 years, you people never forgot me, even when I wanted to forget me." That was a little dark, a little dark and personal, and I think a lot of people can relate to a line like that. And that's powerful. You are all powerful.
They stopped chanting his name a while ago.
They still chanted his name.
No,
they still chanted his name.
No, not in a while.
He says, and that's powerful. You are all powerful. I could see a little acting in his eyes when he said that. He said, a bunch of countless countries and arenas all over the world, the people watching at home and in the building never stop chanting my name. And the crowd starts chanting it. The voiceless found their voice, and I couldn't be more proud of you. The CM Punk, think about it. The CM Punk chants over the years became a rallying cry. For however long it was, however long you want to say it stopped, it was a rallying cry. People genuinely...
It stopped around 2019. After he made his return from backstage. That's pretty much when it stopped.
Yep, but people genuinely missed him. This, yes, it was paid off in this AEW return, but it started and manifested at WWE shows. It was always the rallying cry, the CM Punk chants. He says, and I heard you, and that's why I'm back, because I love you guys. I love you guys. Here's where people.
I love you. I love you guys. I
look at him loving the guys right there.
Love. You. I love you guys. I love you. I love you guys. That's what it sounds like. He's practicing, trying to convince himself that he believes.
He says, I wish I could say I never had to leave, but once upon a time, a wise man once told me for me to get everything I need out of this place, I'd have to leave and come back. Hate to say the wise man was right. I knew right away. He's talking about Paul Heyman. Come on, guys.
Well, of course.
I'm surprised people didn't pick that up.
As the wise man.
Yes, that was a nice little touch. Surprised some people didn't pick up on it. I don't know why. I was thinking it's great advice. Sometimes you do need to leave a place and stand your ground and what you believe in to get more out of it. And he's not the only example of this. Cody Rhodes did it. Drew McIntyre. Hell, maybe even Sasha Banks very soon here.
Except they all did it the right way, and they wanted to raise their stock in a different promotion.
But it is true. Sometimes you do have to leave to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
What does he want, SP3? What do you think he wants in WWE?
WrestleMania main event.
Ah. You had
That's
to
all right.
leave to get it. He says, in front of and behind the camera, it's been nothing but love. It's been nothing but hugs. It feels like a family reunion. Everyone back there was happy to see him, and it's all smiles. Few people kissed him on the mouth. By the way, how's AJ? AJ is fabulous, and she sent her regards. I know a lot of people love that. Always love hearing about AJ. He says everyone has welcomed me back with open arms, and then he gives a sly grin. Well, almost everybody. Some people are afraid. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of what they don't understand. But I understand. Everything I've ever wanted has always been here. I'm going to read those lines again because this applies not just to the wrestlers. This applies to the people, the fans. These are probably the most important lines in the promo. Some people are afraid. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of what they don't understand. But I understand. Everything I've ever wanted has always been here. It's the WrestleMania main event. The competition here week in and week out competes to be the best in the world, but the best in the world has not been here for 10 years. I understand being afraid. Again, this line applies not just to the wrestlers, but the fans and to himself as well. He's probably afraid. The fans are afraid he will fail. Fans are also afraid he might succeed. Wrestlers are afraid he will ruin things. And he may be afraid too because this is his last bridge. He says they're afraid that the brass ring in my back pocket and they can't grab it. Great line. Brass ring reference. They're afraid that the most dangerous and controversial and feared man in this industry just walked through the front door and there's nothing they could do about it. Some people are afraid that tomorrow morning, their best efforts at being the best in the world, in this ring, on this microphone, even at commentary, isn't just false, but it's a lie, because the best in the world is back, and the best in the world is standing in the middle of the ring, live and in living color. Very nice reference to his theme song. In Nashville, Tennessee, on a Monday night, and his name is, the crowd chants, CM Punk. The two words, the chant. That was the rallying cry for all the time he's been gone. And in this ring, on this mic, and that commentary, that's an Easter egg to a past promo, right?
Pipe bomb?
Yep.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts?
I loved it. I loved it.
I was bored. I was bored to death. This is why my whole argument for not wanting CM Punk to return at Survivor Series wasn't because I didn't want to see him return again in Chicago, or I didn't want Chicago to get everything like they always do. That's totally fine. It's WWE doesn't know what to do with them until Rumble. So we got to deal with stuff like this, where like you can say you loved it. You can say it will get good. You could say, oh, this is really a heel promo. He's doing 3D chess and all this other stuff. There's no denying this was underwhelming. It was underwhelming. You could say it was by design, but you cannot say it's not underwhelming. It was underwhelming. It was what it was. And it's because of when they brought him back. They're not going to do anything with him for the next month. He's going to do stuff like this. If he does interact with anybody, it will probably be Grayson Waller. It will probably be Austin Theory. It won't be the people we want him to interact with. So, I mean, I would say if I had to grade return promos for Punk in the past 2 years, it would be his original return to AEW. Tell me when I'm telling lies, the return to Collision, and this would be last. Because he said in his last return promo, tell me when I'm telling lies. Oh, I'll tell you right now, I saw a whole bunch of lies.
I don't think it's as many lies as people are thinking. I think this is always where Punk wanted to be. These are always the fans he wanted to talk to. It's just the feeling was never mutual. He's been wanting to be back since...
This is the promo he would have cut if he came back in 2015. This is the promo he would have cut in 2019. Like I feel like the people that are complaining about it are people that did see him in AEW, and it's not all of them wanted him to mention AEW, but they wanted the old man Punk. If you're gonna be a babyface, at least be the babyface with an edge to it, like you were on Collision. If you're gonna be the babyface, at least have something to sink your teeth into, like when he originally came and he had the feud with MJF. There just is nothing to sink my teeth into. It might get better as we get along, but in the nutshell, it was definitely underwhelming.
I think he's been wanting to be back since Backstage. Remember that show that Fox had him on? But Vince never wanted him back. AEW was born, made him feel wanted. AEW was his chance to come back and talk to the fans that were disconnected to him for so long. And you know what? It was also his bridge back to WWE. A long journey, wild, complicated, but a bridge nonetheless. And even things in WWE needed to shake out differently for him to return. Nick Khan had to be here. Triple H had to be in charge of creative. It's crazy. The idiot doofus son-in-law is what helped kind of make this happen, which makes the pipe bomb promo even more historic and memorable when you hear that line, that part of it again.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention.
And I think that's why a lot of people, like I've seen someone in the chat say this promo felt soulless. It did. It didn't feel like a Punk promo. It felt like John Cena playing the role of CM Punk. It had Punk's delivery. That was the best part of this whole promo. It wasn't anything he said, it's his delivery. He's always been an all-time delivery of any promo, regardless of if it had soul, if it doesn't have soul, and I think this promo had good one-liners, and it was a good mission statement promo. I think what I'm trying to really get across is that you can have a good mission statement promo that is devoid of a lot of substance and soul, and that's what this was.
I forgot to mention, when he's done, when his music's playing, he looks into the camera while the song is saying, "Look in my eyes, what do you see?" Very nice. I'm back. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
And I was like, nigga, how did you say the best line of the promo off the mic?
I thought that was great. I thought that was a great touch. He
could have ended the promo like that. He could have ended the promo like that. Or when he was referencing, not everybody is happy to be here. I would have liked that line there instead of to just the home crowd. I would have liked the line, and he could have repeated again at the end, and it would have had the same feeling. But I felt like that line needed to be in the promo. So then all the people playing 3D chess of, oh, this is really the heel turn promo. This is the promo to set up the heel turn. Watch, let it play out. It makes more sense if he has that line in the promo then.
But there's like two endings to a promo here. One is the ending to the promo to the fans watching at home, and the other one's to the crowd. I like ending it with the two words, the two, CM Punk chant that has been for years. Everybody wanted him back. I like ending with those two words and having the crowd chant it one more time. I do like that. I see the symmetry in that. I do like that. And he also does like a half victory lap. We know what that reference is, right? He's do a little run around, and then he stops. Very definitely on purpose. You can't tell me that was not on purpose. Come on.
Of course. And he should do that. He should do that. Like, that's why, like, if you're complaining about this promo because he didn't make a reference to the Bucks and AEW and all that, House of Wrestling, our good friend Nick Hausman put out the report today that Punk just wants to move on and he has no intention of mentioning them. And that's what I said. I was not looking for that. But you have so many new eyes watching the product, so many new eyes that basically have been off the product that coming back for this show. I would have liked something directing or hinting at a direction of an angle. And yes, they hinted at, I guess the Seth Rollins thing. I would have liked it a little bit more overt, or at least give him something in between Rollins if that's not what he's going to do at Royal Rumble. If that's what he's doing at WrestleMania, then I would have liked the hint of their feud a little bit stronger, and I would have liked something to keep Punk busy until Rumble time, because all I feel like we're going to get is these solo promos that might get interrupted by a mid-card heel.
I think we got enough hint of that with the Seth Rollins promo, what he said, calling him a hypocrite from earlier in the evening. So I don't mind it as much as you did. I think for people looking like if they were looking for a promo similar to like the first dance, I think repeating that passion, that fire, I think that would have been insulting. It would have been disrespectful to the first promo. The two different circumstances. A lot of fans who are watching have already seen Punk in AEW. This is not him returning to wrestling; it's him returning to WWE.
I would have
Two
preferred.
separate things.
I would have liked this too. That's a good point, MCAS. He could have declared for the Royal Rumble. Cody did it.
I think we're gonna have several more talking segments from him towards the Rumble, and one at a time. We'll have different things to say in each one.
Yeah, it's underway.
Were people genuinely were people genuinely expecting him to take shots at AEW? Like,
oh no, that's why I said that's a ridiculous thing to expect. But like I said, I was expecting something, and I got nothing. But that brings us to an end on our review.
You know what? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Maybe it's entirely possible WWE doesn't want him to because that's going to be reserved for Seth Rollins and his venom and fire that he uses against CM Punk. Everything that's going to happen in their promo battles leading to Mania, which is going to be epic.
But like the thing with CM Punk in WWE, he was always at his best when he had an edge, when he was able to make reference to stuff that others didn't make reference to it. But this reminded me more of the Punk that was in AEW for the first few months before he started feuding with Eddie Kingston. This reminded me of the CM Punk that was just going through the motions in 2013. This was what that Punk felt like. So if we're getting that Punk...
Didn't MJF bring that fire out of him?
Yeah.
I see Seth Rollins doing a similar thing.
I don't.
And I think
I'm gonna be honest. I don't see it being as good as the MJF Punk thing. I don't.
No.
I don't see.
Nothing's gonna be better than that.
I don't see Punk and Rollins being like a top 3 Punk feud. I don't think that they're gonna give Seth. They're gonna pull off the chains enough for Seth to get the promo that would make it that.
I don't think anything is gonna compare to Punk and MJF. That is all time. Yeah. But I think what they do with Punk and Rollins is going to absolutely be worthy of a WrestleMania main event. I think it's going to be...
But for it to be worthy of WrestleMania main event, it honestly has to be a Mount Rushmore Punk feud. That for it to feel like it should, it has to be a Mount Rushmore Punk feud. And that means that they have to nail the build, they have to nail these promos. Right now, the Mount Rushmore of Punk feuds is Cena, Joe, MJF, and Jeff Hardy. That Jeff Hardy spot can easily be taken by Seth Rollins. I'm just hoping WWE allows him to get that spot. But
yeah, well, you know what I could see like AEW fans watching, like they're gonna be like rooting for Seth Rollins in this feud because he's gonna call out all the hypocrisy, which is so ironic because Seth Rollins is the flag bearer of WWE, and they're gonna love seeing the flag bearer bury this guy, bury him. It's gonna be so much fun. Can Punk have if you add his AEW stuff with his upcoming WWE stuff, could you see it as like HBK's second run?
No.
Did we put it all together?
No.
A notch below?
It's like HBK's first run.
Reverse.
Yeah.
His first half is the second half.
It's like
I just mean like so much time off, and then you come back and you could still, make a lot of money, as he says.
Yeah, you make a lot of money, but HBK gave us great matches, great promos, great programs, and he was good to people and put people over. Anyway, I don't see that from him. But let's get our thumbs in the middle for the November 7th, 2023 edition of WWE Raw in 3, 2, 1. Wow, I'm surprised that we agreed on that. I was so expecting you to have thumbs up, but yeah, this was a thumbs
up. I gave it a thumbs up on the watch along, probably because I'm in a better mood and it's fun to watch with people. But when you talk about it, it's like, yeah, you see the filler stuff, stand out.
You see the flaws a lot more when you review it.
When you review it, yes, exactly.
I'm gonna go out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not that low on it like I said, I was here. Like most people, Punk was the big draw for the show, and I felt like that was underwhelming. But the tag team turmoil was really good. Drew and Seth was the best segment on the show, and Drew McIntyre still has the most interesting character. Judgment Day is always fun and intriguing to watch. So there's some good stuff on this show, but it was just bogged down by a lot of boring and filler stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. 6, the high end of thumbs in the middle.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the Punk promo much more than a lot of people did. And but still give it a 6.
All right. Sound off in the live chat to let us know what you gave the show. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? MVP, LVP, match of the night. Who was your MVP for the show, Romeo?
The Creed brothers and Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre. I just really enjoy his character. It's the thing that makes me watch Raw every single week.
Come on, man. No Creed,
It
but
is.
they won 3 matches. They got
were
like there were like 3 good matches in turmoil. They're tagged
They
number
were
1
great.
contenders. Give them credit,
They were
man.
great, and that's why they're my match of the night. The Creed winning the tag team turmoil. That was match of the night by far. Romeo?
Easily, not even nothing compares.
Exactly. So
They had like the 2-3 matches of the night inside.
I had to spread the wealth. They already gonna get match of the night, so give Drew
It's
MVP.
okay. I like giving multiple awards.
LVP for the show, Romeo.
JD McDonough.
That's a good choice. I agree with Power Driver finisher. It's Triple H. You didn't show up. You weren't there.
They said he had to do some kind of business stuff.
Oh, no. This is the most anticipated Raw 2023, my dude. Like, no. Wrong time to do that. So you're the LVP.
Maybe Bruce Pritchard for the formatting.
Frantic World, I know you don't watch WWE, so this is why I'm answering this question for you. He says, SP3, do you still think WWE needs Punk? I never said WWE needs Punk. I've literally been on the air, and I know you were in the chat when I said WWE does not need Punk. And what last night proved in the fact that they just booked what they would regularly book for Raw, and that they basically gave CM Punk a promo he would have cut if he came back to WWE after a year in 2015. They proved why they don't need CM Punk on this show. They booked it like CM Punk did not return. That's how they booked this show. Romeo, let the people know where they can follow you on social media. What you got going on?
For Romeo Anthony, all forms of social media.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Check out all the great content we got on the channel. True Hill Heat Flagship Podcast, our Survivor Series review, closing in on 1,000 views. So go over and check that out if you haven't already. I will be back on the channel on Thursday at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with AE Ramble. We will be live once again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Elite Heat, watching AEW Dynamite for joining us for that one. But for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 1. I'm home. Reviewing the November 27, 2023 edition of WWE Raw. We are signing off until next time.
Coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
Now you